with the phones, but we're gonna make it do what it do. Lilo and Stitch Decoded. Lilo and Stitch Decoded. Now, Lilo and Stitch is one of them powerful movies that I've decoded back in the day, childhood movies that I decoded back in the day. That's an important movie for melanated beings, and it's very important to understand what the movie is actually representing and what it's speaking of as as a melanated being, as somebody with as the first beings on this earth, right? And it was interesting. I just came from my daughter's graduation. She's going to second grade. Ain't that a bitch? They graduating every damn grade. They doing a whole ceremony thing and they just making sure kids graduate and get through that high school, baby. But like I told you, that shit is over with. Straight up and down. I can't. In 10 years from now, high school gonna be like. I'm just telling y'all what it is. I've seen the future. I'll give you even 15 years from now. Niggas ain't gonna be fucking with that high school shit. It's too advanced. The technology is doing too much. The world is just shifting, and we got to learn how to grow. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be formidable schools or schools where kids can, like, go through and learn. What's up, y'all? What's the deal, family? What's the word? But 15 years, give me y'all 15. Yeah, it'll be a different idea of schools, right? You really just gonna have to teach your own kids and go for what you know. But anyway, I wanted to dive deep into this Lilo and Stitch because it's coming out this Friday and I've decoded it before. And if y'all haven't seen my decode on it before, y'all need to go check that out because it's definitely a classic. Something that is one of those that gives the family more understanding of who you are divinely. And I'm gonna read some of this book, Melanin: What Makes Black People Black. Mm. So Lilo and Stitch, right? Lilo and Stitch. Lilo is an alien that came to Earth, which is you, um, alien one, and he crash landed on Earth. And in him crash landing on Earth, he was alien to this world, and you can tell that by him being. Oh, I'm sorry, not Lilo, Stitch. God damn. Stitch is the alien. Yeah, Stitch is the alien. So Stitch, him being his real name 626, or this experimental thing from another dimension, is just the aspect of 666. So 626 is just a code name for 666. And 666 is just essentially talking about you, melanated ones. So before y'all go see the movie Friday, which I'm pretty sure some of y'all won't, I just know it's just one of those. Um, the deeper idea, the bigger message behind it is that you've been conformed, you've been manipulated, you've been transcribed, if you will, into a new being, into something that's beyond your natural state of being. And what you'll see it in majority of the times is people that are real intellectual or real sound with the system. The system has taken over your minds. And that system taking over your mind is essentially what's holding you back from your greatest good, from your purpose driven, from you being who you were destined to be. Us having melanin is a superpower. And in order to use our melanin as a superpower, we have to understand how it works. And the way melanin works is based off of you understanding this other mechanism called fear. So Stitch crash landed onto Earth and he had to conform and basically was programmed into a society to be an upstanding citizen. This is the same thing with you coming into birth. You coming into birth is essentially you terraforming into a human. When you look at yourself as a human, you have completely eradicated your power, your superpower from you. You must look at yourself as a god or a goddess and look at it, that aspect of yourself strongly and courageously. Because we're going to die and transition, there is no other point but to look at yourself in that manner. Hello? You're going to be gone eventually, family. So you putting up with the Joneses or trying to fit in is a problem. It's a diabolical problem that has been taking over the world. And we want to understand to the core that when you remove yourself from the minutia of the world, you can start to run your own narrative, run your own ship, and control your own destiny. Now, the beautiful thing about seeing the powers that be conquer melanated beings' minds is that, shit, you have the power to do the same. Just because they tricked you, now you just got to understand, oh, okay, they put a trick on my ass, bet, right? So now you got to understand, wow, for people to create a system to keep people at large in a left brain thinking mechanism, now you just got to understand how can you take back your power and utilize your truth, your strength as a spiritual being. So Stitch represents 626, and 626 is you, melanated being, the 666, the 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, carbon-based being, right? The one understanding I want you to have with this Lilo and Stitch coming out Friday, especially with the spiritual message that we just received from the ancestors in them last Friday, right? And with that final destination coming out, is that I want you to find it in your heart, find it in your power to remove any notion of you, how would you say, conforming or fitting in, because again, that's what's holding you back from being the business owner that you want to be, to owning the island that you want to own, to traveling the world, to, essentially just being who you were destined to be. So with melanin, right, there's two aspects of melanin. Melanin is a superconductor producer that's going to produce anything you would like. The other aspect of that melanin is the fear aspect, or what we call fear. But fear is just a mechanism to channel to you to say, oh yeah, if you step into this, I will figure it out. And I'll figure it out rather quickly too as well. So if y'all seen my Masters, the Mystic Mind Conference, me, D-Ray, and Brother Yosef, Mystic Mind Conference down here in Houston, I talked about melanin heavily. And I talked about how fear is the thing that's impacting your being. How I started understanding this to the core was when I first understood that I was in a fearful state, and well, I didn't know I was in a fearful state. I was just taking drugs. And the drugs was keeping me out of that mind, out of that thinking mechanism part, right? Of thinking all the time. The drugs kind of numbed you to the world. You feel me? So in numbing you to the world, you do stuff that you probably would have did naturally if you just stepped inside that fear. When you shut down that thinking brain, essentially you start to get in this flow state, and that's what we're all seeking, is this flow state to where we can actually move and empower ourselves through, whatever mission we're trying to carry out. What happened was we started using alcohol, weed, substances to shut down that thinking part. But it was a grave mistake because, again, what we needed to do was go through the processes of that fear so we can actually transform ourselves into a new. You seen the sober kid? Y'all remember that sober kid? He just was really always sober, never smoked, never drink nothing, right? And for some reason, it seems like he's just picking up on stuff or moving in a particular way that says, "Wow, that's a genius." He doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't do nothing. That's what I'm talking about. That kid, that nigga, just moving through the world, making things happen because he's, essentially just growing up and not trying different things. Now, there's different aspects of that because sometimes you do need to drink or smoke to understand something about yourself and break out of uh, the system in your mind. That's kind of like what happened to me. I think what happened with me was once I started drinking at 16, I started to understand, oh, okay, wait a minute, there's this feeling, there's a strange feeling that I have to understand. Why am I more confident? Why am I more brash? Why am I able to speak to this female like that? You feel me? So in that understanding of me drinking, I wanted more of it, more and more and more. And eventually, as I've been drinking from 16 to damn near 29 heavy, right? I'll understand myself as, as that person that, that I understood that alcohol made me be somebody else, essentially, right? And the weed and the bars, especially the bars, because them hoes really make you feel like Superman. The beautiful thing about what I've done to get over that aspect of me was I had to step inside the fear and say, all right, enough is enough. I don't want to transition early. So in order for me to conquer this thing, I'm going to have to get over whatever energy I feel inside that keeps me uh, a shell of myself. So that energy that was keeping me a shell of myself had to be eradicated inside of me by being sober and by just doing the damn thing. So I remember clear as day, this is when I started being a personal trainer. I'm off the drugs and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm slowly and surely getting off the drink, right? And essentially, you know, it's like a fresh new start when you're a personal trainer. You're in the environment with a whole bunch of new people that are kind of sober, working out and all this other stuff, and they got a different kind of energy to them, right? And your environment kind of transforms you into that. Because I'm going from the hood to my hood partners and shit like that all day long, us drinking and smoking and doing what we do, to now a whole new environment of what you would kind of say sophistication and uh, a lot of logic, that's for sure, and a lot of motivation, if you will, motivation to win and shit. You feel me? That's what I remember heavy in that gym. Them white boys used to be real motivated. Chaos in the blood. So that stuff is contagious, right? Because you can pick up on that energy and then you can transform into that being as well. So the first time I did a boot camp, I was shook. I was shelling myself. 200 people waiting for me to direct them in a particular way. I was like, I did not like that feeling at all. Maybe it was me coming off of the drugs. Maybe it was whatever. But I'm telling you, I was nervous as hell. I was nervous like Diddy is in this damn trial, nigga. That nigga about to, right when he said, what? When he hear that verdict, boy, I know he gonna be nervous to the bitch. God damn, the rest of his life or freedom. Look, Diddy, this is Diddy. Millions of dollars, living his life, pussy, drug, back to drug. He might go back to drugs. You feel me? Or in jail getting badissy. Oh God, and he had a, he was already in the badissy stage over here too. So shit, that nigga Diddy might not even give a fuck. Shit, that nigga might be like, shit, feel me a little dollars and stuff. Shit, this nigga might be hitting niggas from the back. What? That nigga Diddy might be like, well, fuck it. So that nigga might not even be nervous. That nigga Diddy might not be nervous. Nah, think about it. We'll see when he get there. But I know he ain't gonna do that much. He might do like, and now if they really trying to get him, and they gonna do, he gonna do 10, 15. If they really want to like try to get him. Because, whatever, he was trying to uplift black people or some shit. You feel me? Right before he got canned and shit. And that could have been a play for him to get out. But whatever. That could you imagine, I be feeling people's energy. So that nigga might not be nervous. But anyway, getting back to my story, I was fucking nervous in that boot camp. Like crazy, right? Shaking and shit. And I hated that feeling because, you want to understand it. But the beautiful thing about me feeling that was I was able to embrace it. I was like, oh, wow, okay. Damn, this is something that I want to conquer, that I want to move into, right? Because I didn't have no goals back then. You feel me? I was just moving around the world, no goals. You feel me? And me being nervous like that end up giving me a goal to achieve. You feel me? Because shit, I had some money. I was just coming out of the drug game, and shit, I'm trying to start this new life, be a personal trainer and shit. So that was my new goal essentially. You feel me? And I think it's important that we do have goals because again, the goals kind of, it's not about hitting the goal, but it's more so about you striving for something on this earth realm, pushing yourself in a particular direction. So, I embraced it. I embraced the challenge. You feel me? I embraced the sobriety, and in me embracing the sobriety and doing this, what you call public speaking, I end up, going to the Toastmasters, doing that. A hood nigga going to Toastmasters looking crazy, boy. My dreads was longer too. Feel me? I know my eyes, my lips was still black. Eyes probably still low and shit. I'm talking real hood in that bitch. They give me feedback, and I'm like, and they like, yeah, they trying to say, talk more, whatever, clear and pronunciate your words and all of that, right? Which I end up doing. I feel like I can speak with the best of them now. You feel me? And they would tell me, they would give me feedback about me saying different verbiage. I can't remember what I would say. It was something that they would give me feedback on. So now all these white people, Asians, whatever, they give me feedback on that shit. I'm sitting there embracing it and taking it all in, right? And going to sleep at night and feeling all that shit. Okay, I can get better at this way of speaking, da 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 da, right? And I think that's an important aspect for us to understand because you pick up on it quick as melanated beings, as a sober melanated being. Sober. You gotta be sober because again, the problem is we're running away from ourselves. And in running away from ourselves, we don't get to program our being the way we need to get it programmed. So when you're sober, your melanin can see and clearly understand what it needs to do to make you that genius in that whatever lane you're going in. And it's based off of your pineal gland secreting melanin and giving your body or your nervous system the energy that it needs. So here go a book, Melanin, What Makes People Black, Lalala, Africa, right? And you see it in everything, sports, music, um, every video games, the streaming, like Casanata and all of them, right? The more sober you get, the more your body learns to move in the manner of that new vision. And when your body learns to move in that new vision, now all of a sudden you start to conquer the world in that way. That's what manifestation really is getting your nervous system in check. Can't get your nervous system in check, then shit, you're not gonna be able to manifest. And because again, the first step is you identifying what the fear is and then falling into it, stepping into that fear, embracing it, and understanding that it's not going to be fear for too long. Your body just has to recognize it, pick up on the energy, and then eventually you get into rhythm. Same thing when I first started YouTube. When I first started YouTube, nigga, I was nervous than a bitch to come on this hoe, shaking and shit. And then I didn't even have the camera on. My body just had to recognize I'm just speaking into the phone. It was a recording too. Max D Ray, I was recording myself, recording a voice thing that I was gonna edit later. Like, damn, what is that? Okay, bet. Then eventually, what happens is your melanin understands that. Oh, okay, you gotta be able to move or flow in this particular manner because this is what you're about to do. And essentially, it just becomes second nature. It's like brushing your teeth. See, I got on here after my daughter's graduation thing. I said, fuck it, let me get on YouTube. I didn't know the damn YouTube. See, the phones just start automatically. I literally just turned this bitch on and went to YouTube and pressed live, and it went on. I said, oh shit. Okay, I'm ready. Let me get myself fixed up and shit. You feel me? I didn't think it was gonna jump on. I thought I was gonna have some time to figure it out. But whatever, cool. I'm used to it. You feel me? So I think the aspect of stepping into the fear is important for melanated beings. Because again, that's that's how our melanin gets to move and take us to another level. It says melanin is secreted by the pineal gland. The pineal gland is a pine-shaped cone. The pineal gland stimulates the growth of the nervous system, thinking brain part called gray matter. The pineal gland, so let's do this step by step. Melanin is secreted by the pineal gland, right? That's the stuff that makes you Superman. Go get them Harataki supplements. The pineal stimulates the growth of the nervous system. So y'all remember I told y'all the pineal pituitary hypothalamus gland secretes this concoction to your glands, which is your chakras, to keep your body in a state of peace, bliss, and so on and so forth. Therefore, an understimulated pineal in childhood can decrease thinking ability in adulthood. So there is some the aspects of the childhood traumas or the childlike spirit that you got to get through because again, if your childhood has been traumatized heavy, then your pineal gland probably could have been underdeveloped just based off of you getting your ass whooped as a kid. you feel me, or getting raped as a kid, and now you go straight into the brain part. So yeah, some people's pineal could be underdeveloped. Now, what I would say to that is, one, you have to do the mental alchemy work, but two, to develop the pineal more is essentially just fasting and letting them emotions come to the surface, so then you can deal with it head on. See, the fasting is so important, not because we don't talk about the weight loss people. The fasting is so important because, again, when them emotions come to the surface and you have to deal with them, essentially what happens is you're you will literally have to face that bitch on head on. And if you don't, then you're gonna suppress it and try to eat again. But it's gonna force you to deal with it. You feel me? Same thing like Mother ayahuasca. Because it's so important to face these emotions and to get in and rule your world and to get out of the human, that is part of the game. You feel me? And I get it. Some of y'all have some crazy child. Look at this damn thing they got over my house. What the hell is that? See, that's why some 5G towers, they be trying to fuck a nigga up. What kind of shit is that, boy? God damn. Hold on, I don't even know if y'all can hear me good. Can y'all hear me good? I just got on here and started talking and shit. Okay, this is not. Oh, okay, I see what I gotta do. So understand this to the core, right? Your pineal might be underdeveloped because of your traumas, of your childhood traumas. So now, if you know that, if you know you as a kid, then there's nothing else. Nobody ain't gonna give a fuck about what you talking about, boy. You gotta have to deal with it. You feel me? See, people want people to save them. It's gonna have to be up to you to save yourself. Nobody cares. Everybody gotta worry about their own self and their own thing. So then you're gonna have to like really step up, put your big man pants on, and say, okay, let me deal with this myself. That's what spiritual being is. That's what spirituality is, with it in yourself. Because again, nobody cares. Everybody's going through their own trials and tribulations. So if you don't have the courage to just care about yourself, then shit, you just gonna be out here lost in the world. So you gotta understand that to the core, like, hey, niggas ain't gonna be just looking for Jermaine and Johnny and them and say, damn, let me check on that nigga because, I want to make sure that he's on his shit or he's in his traumas. No, niggas ain't gonna give a fuck about none of that. So it's up to you to do the work. That's why spiritual work is so important, because again, if you're gonna get your pineal gland to pump this melanin and then you to live and embrace the adventure that you're supposed to embrace down here, then that's what it is. See, the problem is you believe that you're supposed to work this job because you've been shell shocked or conformed into societal pressures to be a human. But like the movie Lilo and Stitch, you crash landed here, and Lilo is trying to conform you to be a human, an upstanding citizen, a robot. Uh, uh. You see, that's what I'm saying. Like, nigga, as an alien that's not even from Earth, you must run amok on this bitch. Cause what would an alien do? They would take over this hoe. You just got tricked into coming with me. Come with me. Let's listen to Elvis. let's learn how to stand upright and talk straight. That's the school system. All of that. Lilo is just the school system. So now we have to take back our power and move into a more aggressive, assertive energy within ourselves to take over our world.
Said I was gonna bring some watermelon.
Say, you brought them. Say.
Hey, family. No, think about the speech that the principal just gave at the thing. His speech was indoctrination. You don't remember the stuff he was saying?
Go tell him, babe. I look like a
Okay.
straight nigga in this bit.
Hi, y'all. Peace, everybody. So we were just at the kids at Kara's second grade thing, and the principal was giving a good speech. Okay, he baby, they probably can't hear me. You got the microphone.
Oh. Huh.
So I'm gonna be real quick. So, oh, the kids are trying to come outside. Anyways, the principal was giving a good speech. He first started the speech talking about how parents need to be involved. Don't let YouTube or these video games raise your children, which we all understand that we get that. But he keeps going and he says, you know, it's very important that we keep our kids engaged and working over the summer. And he was just making a speech about how when the kids come to school for those 7.5 hours, they are working. And when I hear him talking about this, he made the analogy. He said, they're here working just like we go to jobs and work for 7.5 hours. And the first thing that I thought in my mind is, this is the indoctrination. And he just was so bold about it, as if it was so positive and so good that kids are out of school doing work for 7.5 hours. And then he said they get 30 minutes break and 30 minutes recess. I was like, y'all are priming them and preparing them to be regular humans that go to jobs and have no passion and purpose. So the indoctrination starts very early with playing into the system and not being the alien that you are.
I know I'm on some black shit with this watermelon and shit. This is
That's
crazy.
a whole nother topic.
Big lips and everything. Watermelon.
Listen, I had started some.
Yeah, you know what's so crazy about that too? They try to trick you out of eating watermelon. But they know it's a superpower. They know it's gonna get your being right. But they stereotype it and then make you feel bad. Nah, nigga, I don't eat no watermelon. I ain't no nigga. No whatever the fuck. Uh-oh. Look. Right now it's an important time to get out of that slave mindset and move into a space of power and God. 2025 now, and we know, you know what I'm saying, we know what time it is. Like, how long are you gonna stay stuck in an idea of, or in a shell of yourself? Hold on, why can't I get this thing to work now? Hold on, y'all. Give me a minute. This thing don't not want to work. Okay. All right. I think that's it. So, understanding that. Yeah, that's good. Understanding that. Understanding that it don't take that long. We've been basically primarily out of the system for what, 5-6 years? Really, since we've been doing our spiritual work, or since I've been doing my spiritual work, and then grew into having a family, you know, moving into like my own shit, right? And becoming God. sovereign in this bitch. You feel me? Things keep on happening to where you know that spirit is always helping you and giving you place so you can keep on bettering yourself out here in the matrix. So I want to encourage the family to understand that
We
it's
are
not.
so ready for a backyard party.
Hold this real quick while I lower this thing.
Oh, what?
This right here because it
Hold
keeps
it
on
still.
falling. Yeah. All right.
Oh, it
Nope.
came off.
Oh, that's what it was
Oh,
too.
sorry, y'all. Do you want it off or on?
That's fine.
On or off?
No, I can hold it. I got it.
Okay.
So I want to encourage the family. Learn from that
Give me. Let's yell
it's up to you to tap into your melanin so it can secrete the proper hormones that it needs to secrete so you can actually tap into your purpose driven. Let's see what y'all talk about on here. What it say? Don't spit them seeds out. Uses best for digestion and skin and energy, everything. Yep. Not telling people all these schools barely have kids in it. Yeah, that's Bella. That's Bella just said that. That's exactly they nigga. Hey, these schools is going down, baby. I'm telling you, dog. Nobody's going to them home, or they going to these charter schools because we're seeing a lot of these charter schools happen. But then there's a lot of schools that have that a lot of homeschooling things happening. What's up, Carissa? That's right. Eat the seeds and make the experience that much better. Absolutely. I mean, I eat all of it. You feel me? Homeschool the kids. Yep. Energy. What's up, Titus? Titus talking about eat to the white part dream. You don't think I know? No, I love me some white part. Some white. You feel me? Anyway, tomorrow, Patreon family, we're gonna tap in. We're gonna dive deep into the fold and
Stop that.
get into Akasha now in the earth, air, fire, water. But I wanted to come on here because it's a part of my work that I stay consistent and um, try to tap in, even if what I'm saying the situation is not as uh, ready for me to come on. I still wanted to come on and just tap in. You feel me? Because at the same time, at the end of the day, that's one of the aspects of fear, also, right? When you see, you can counter fear as lazy or as, oh, the situation is not right, or as, um, I'm just not ready. But you're never going to be ready. It's always going to be, the time is always going to be something that you have to just tap into and understand that you got to tap into it now. Damn, I had put the mic down. My bad, y'all. Could y'all hear me? I don't know if y'all could have heard me there, right there. 8 to 10 hours every night of sleep. Yep. How long should I fast? Um, you got to start. This ain't no medical advice, but you got to start with one day, and then it's fasting is kind of like a lifestyle thing, like going to the gym. You just got to keep working it. So start off intermittent fasting, maybe 8 hours. Then in 3 days, do one day, and just kind of build from there. In a week, do 3 days, and so on and so forth. And the fasting is actually going to set a lot of people free. A lot of people free. What? See, now this YouTube thing is doing something tricky. Fast from the screens too, as well. Absolutely, because these screens is trash. Some of the stuff that's even coming into the fold is like trash information as well. It's not really serving nobody, and it's not really helping anybody. It's just It's just not serving people's greater goods. Oh, okay, y'all can still hear me. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, well, that's all for me, family. I'll tap in with y'all tomorrow in the Patreon. We'll tap in and do the Akasha build. Let's sit out here and get this sun so this vitamin D can go up. Y'all know what it is, family. Peace to the gods.